Hello everyone, and welcome back to Conspiracy. Thank you to everyone who participated in my last two giveaways of the pop sockets. I'm going to be doing a little bigger of a giveaway next week, so be on the lookout for that. Again, thank you for all those who participated, who liked, shared, commented, subscribed, etc. It really means a lot that I can get that much support. This week's video was actually suggested by Patience Strutton in the comments of my UFO video, so thank you, Patience, for the recommendation. This week we'll be talking about the Ohio train incident, what happened, if regulations removed by the Trump administration could have stopped it, and more. Thank you so much for choosing to spend some time with me today. Hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't, and let's get into it. The date is February 3rd, 2023. A train carrying vinyl chloride passes two sensors with an overheated wheel bearing with no warning that anything was wrong at all. It wasn't until the third sensor that an alert sounded warning that the bearing had reached a critical temperature. The train that is chugging along through East Palestine, Ohio applies the brakes, but at this point it's too late. 38 cars derail and a fire starts on one of the cars. Black smoke is rising into the air, smoke from the vinyl chloride, a toxic chemical that's known to cause cancer. The train is also carrying other hazardous material, which the fire eventually spreads to as well. It's not until February 6th, 3 days later, that an evacuation order was put in place in a 1 by 2 mile area around the train. Later that day, small charges, explosives, were used to breach a tank car that had its release valve damaged, with officials fearing an explosion that would have sent shrapnel from the tank flying out, causing more damage had they not. However, and I'm not sure who decided this instead of like a vacuum option maybe, but the newly released vinyl chloride was then set on fire using flares, sending toxic smoke up into the air. The incident has been referred to as the Chernobyl of the United States, but not because it was a nuclear accident, obviously, but just because of the amount of stories that surround the following days on what is and is not safe based on government reports and other reporting. Officials reported that the air quality reports, despite the burn, didn't show anything concerning. However, people in the counties of Mahoning and Trumbull reported a chemical smell in the areas and headaches. Trumbull County is a county and a half away, and while the counties in Ohio aren't as big as counties that I'm used to here in Utah, they're not exactly the size of one city either. They're still rather large. If people a county and a half away are saying that they can smell the chemicals and are getting headaches, then what's happening at ground zero really? According to a USA Today article published on February 24th of 2023, more than 43,000 fish and other animals have been killed as a result of this derailment. But we're told that the air is safe? It's not only in the city of East Palestine that dead animals were found, but in surrounding areas as well, about a 5-mile span around the train derailment. But don't worry, fellas, the air is safe for humans. 3.6 Rontgens, not great, not terrible. The Ohio EPA also reported that drinking the tap water is safe, and they found no vinyl chloride, benzene, or other toxic chemicals, and they have a video of them drinking water that they claim they got from a tap, but you can see a smart water bottle in the video. However, look at the USA Today headline. It doesn't say 43,000 mammals, or just animals even. It specifies fish. So according to the government, everything is fine in Ohio, and people can return to their houses in East Palestine, but people in other cities and counties surrounding the area say that if they can still smell it, how safe is it really to return home? Now we're going to take a look at my favorite Instagram page, and if you have Instagram, I highly recommend following them. They're called Real News No BS. They report news with no bias, and if a piece of news is political, they have both a conservative and a liberal on their staff weigh in based on what they know about it. The main guy who runs the account is named John, and he often gets asked for his opinion on subjects. However, he says that adding his opinions on the matter defeats the whole purpose of his Instagram account. Anyway, I highly recommend following them. Real News No BS. They sent a crew to be at Ground Zero in East Palestine to do what other news outlets will not: interview the residents of the town and how they've been affected. A lot of the following will be pulled from their page. The first thing I want to discuss is the water situation in East Palestine. I saw a video of a river on Twitter that had like a chemical look, like if you, after a rainstorm, like a gas station, the puddles kind of have like that chemical-y look. It looked like that, but it was a river, and people were saying that it was edited. However, there's a video on Real News No BS's Instagram page that has this exact same kind of water, and it's a video that they took themselves, so that's how I know that this video is accurate. Everything that I'm talking about in regards to Real News No BS on Instagram will be linked in the description below. This video was uploaded on their Instagram page on February 26th, 2023, in which they are with a man by the name of Stephen Petty, who runs a hoe through the water, causing what looks like chemicals to float to the top. They interviewed a woman named Desiree, whose backyard is home to the derailed train, and used a drone to get footage of the train from her backyard. Desiree lives 900 feet from the crash site and says that her entire family of 8 and the dog have been sick ever since the evacuation order was rescinded and they came back home. She said that if their financial situation was any better, they would move, but they cannot afford to. She claims that despite being one of the closest homes to the site, no one from the local, state, or federal governments have been in touch with her, nor has she been provided any air or water tests. She says her children can't play outside because they get sicker. Something very interesting with Desiree happened not too long after Real News No BS left to interview others. She claimed that despite the train cars being there for almost a month, right after they interviewed her and got drone footage, the cleanup company immediately started breaking down the train and destroying other tankers that were sitting near her backyard. Real News No BS claims that there is a white substance coming from the tanker and that the smell is very strong. Going back to my first point about the river, Real News No BS meets up with Stephen Petty, who is an expert in chemical spills and has been used as an expert witness and exposure expert in many large-scale class action lawsuits nationwide. Stephen said that he's in East Palestine running an independent test of the water, soil, and air. He says that he believes it's important for an independent investigator to verify what government officials and representatives of Norfolk Southern, the company that runs and operates the train that was derailed, are saying. Real News No BS said that the smell coming from the water Stephen was testing was so bad that they had to walk away after 10 minutes due to their throats burning. Both parts 1 and 2 of their Instagram posts are in the description below. Stephen also said that he would get the results back in about 2 weeks, so a week and a half after this video goes live is when you'll be able to hopefully see the results on Real News No BS's page. They then run into a man named Roger on his way back from picking up water bottles at a Salvation Army outreach location. He said that he has personally had animals die because of the derailment. He also said that he's upset that President Joe Biden has not been to the site yet and wants the US government to provide aid to the community like they've been providing for other countries abroad. Ironically though, former President Donald Trump did show up to East Palestine, Ohio. And at the time of this recording, President Biden has still not visited the city. They have a few more interviews, which you can see if you visit their Instagram page, but the story is very similar. Burning throats, burning eyes, stomach pain, no one getting in contact to provide any kind of tests or give relief, etc. On February 16th, 2023, the community held a meeting to discuss the incident, and Norfolk Southern was scheduled and slated to attend. However, they skipped the meeting, saying the following, quote, "After consulting with community leaders, we have become increasingly concerned about the growing physical threat to our employees and members of the community around this event stemming from the increasing likelihood of the participation of outside parties. While I can understand the concern for their employees' safety, it shows, at least in my opinion, a lack of concern, care, or even remorse for and to the residents in the area." The last I will say on Real News No BS is that they have a really good post on the Norfolk Southern CEO and who he will and will not have interviews with, the possible reasons for it, etc. I want to leave some stuff as a surprise on their page for you, so check it out in the link in the description. I've heard many people say that Trump got rid of some train and railroad regulations that had they been in place, this would not have happened. The Trump administration withdrew an Obama-era proposal to require faster brakes on trains carrying highly flammable material. However, that being said, this train did not meet the requirements of highly flammable, and as such, the faster brakes rule would not have applied to this train anyway. So anyone saying that former President Trump is to blame is doing so realistically in bad faith. On February 8th, 2023, affected businesses and residents filed 3 class action lawsuits against Norfolk Southern Railway. On February 4th, 2023, Norfolk Southern made a donation of only $25,000 to the Red Cross to support its efforts in East Palestine. However, later they did pledge $2.5 million. On February 21st, 2023, the EPA ordered Norfolk Southern to find and clean contaminated water and soil and to pay for the EPA's cleaning efforts. Only time will tell how much the areas and citizens of East Palestine will be affected. All we know for sure is how they're being affected in the here and now. And much of the here and now is having contradicting statements between the government and independent studies of citizens and the locals. Do you think that the government's purposely downplaying the issue as to not cause a panic? Or is the smell just due to a small amount that is in the air and water and all actually is fine? Let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much to Patience Strutton for the suggestion, and again thank you to Real News No BS on Instagram for going to Ground Zero to find out what's really happening. If you have any suggestions for videos, leave them down in the comments below. Thank you for choosing to spend some time with me today. I really do appreciate it, and I'll catch you in the next one.